Imagine walking down a lonely road and suddenly coming face to face with a lion. Sounds like the start of a nightmare, right? But what happened to this boy on that fateful day will leave you speechless. It wasn't fear that ruled the moment. It was something far more surprising. Stick around, because you won't believe how this story ends. This story takes place in New York, a region known for its wildlife and vast open plains. On a normal day, lions don't wander into areas close to human roads, but this wasn't a normal day. Our protagonist is a 12-year-old boy named Daniel. He was returning home from school, taking a route he'd traveled many times before. It was a peaceful afternoon with birds chirping and a gentle breeze rustling the trees. But nature, as we know, is unpredictable, and this day would take a turn Daniel never saw coming. By the way, if you're new here, welcome to Untold Animal Stories. We bring you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping stories from around the world. If you love content that keeps you on the edge of your seat, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now, let's dive back into Daniel's unbelievable encounter. Let's set the scene. Daniel is walking along a dirt road. It's peaceful, with the occasional sound of leaves crunching under his feet. He's in no hurry, thinking about the day's events, maybe even daydreaming a little. But then he notices something. At first it's subtle, a faint rustling sound coming from the trees on his right. Daniel stops in his tracks, his ears straining to catch the noise again. And then it happens. A lion steps out of the trees, not running, not pouncing, just walking calmly onto the road. Imagine this for a second. You're a 12-year-old, standing just a few feet away from one of the most powerful predators on Earth. What would you feel? Terror? Confusion? Helplessness? Daniel's instincts told him to run, but something inside him kept him rooted to the spot. The lion's golden eyes locked on to Daniel, unblinking, its powerful frame moving with deliberate ease. And here's the strangest part. It didn't attack. This is where the story gets truly fascinating. The lion slowly approached Daniel, but its demeanor wasn't aggressive. No growling, no roaring, no signs of a hunt. Instead, the lion stopped just a few feet away and sat down. Yes, it sat down. Can you imagine the confusion Daniel must have felt? At this point, people nearby had started noticing the situation. A group of onlookers, some from a distance and others hiding behind trees, were frozen in disbelief. The lion leaned its massive head forward and nudged Daniel gently with its nose. The boy didn't scream, he didn't cry. He simply stood there, too stunned to react. And the lion? It seemed almost calm, peaceful even. But why was it acting this way? Was it injured? Confused? Hungry? No one could explain it. All they knew was that this moment felt like something out of a movie, a connection between man and beast that defied all logic. News travels fast in small communities, and soon local rangers were on their way. But they weren't coming with guns blazing. They understood the delicate nature of this situation. When the ranger arrived, he observed the scene carefully. He noticed the lion's body language. It wasn't in attack mode. It wasn't even agitated. The ranger whispered instructions to the bystanders, telling them to stay calm and quiet. He didn't want to provoke the lion. Then, with slow and deliberate movements, he stepped closer. The lion glanced at the ranger but didn't move away from Daniel. Instead, it simply watched, almost as if it understood that help had arrived. The ranger explained later that this lion was part of a conservation program. It had been raised in captivity and released into the wild just weeks before. This explained its unusual behavior. It wasn't used to hunting, and it may have seen Daniel as a source of comfort, not prey. Daniel, though visibly shaken, handled the situation remarkably well. When asked later why he didn't run, he said something incredible. "I felt like the lion wasn't going to hurt me. I just knew." The lion was safely tranquilized and relocated to a reserve, where it could be monitored and cared for. As for Daniel, his story spread like wildfire. People couldn't believe how calm he remained and how the lion chose peace over aggression. It's a story that leaves us with so many questions. Was this a miracle, a coincidence, or just a rare display of animal behavior? Whatever the explanation, it's a moment that will be remembered forever. Stories like this remind us of the incredible connections that can exist between humans and animals. Despite our differences, moments like these show that understanding and coexistence are possible, even in the most unlikely circumstances. Think about it. What would you have done in Daniel's place? Would you have run, screamed, or stayed still? It's a moment that tests courage and trust in ways most of us can't imagine. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this extraordinary story? Do you believe the lion was seeking comfort, or was it just confused? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and I can't wait to see what you think. If this story left you inspired or amazed, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who loves wildlife for stories of courage. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Untold Animal Stories for more stories that will leave you speechless. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.